Optional Practical Training Workshop, Part 2. In this section, we will talk more about the OPT application process. Here's an overview of the OPT application process. First, you must complete the OPT workshop in SciStart, which you are currently doing. Way to go! Then, you must submit the optional practical training request, also in SciStart, and ISSO will verify your eligibility for OPT. Next, you will receive an updated I-20 from ISSO, along with a checklist of other application materials you will need to compile. After gathering all application materials, we encourage you to have your application reviewed by an ISSO advisor before submitting it to uscis. More information about a review will be included with your checklist. After review, you are ready to submit your application to uscis. In a few weeks, you will receive a mailed receipt notice confirming your application was received. And a few months after that, your application should be approved. First, while working your way through the OPT application process, please be aware that the optional practical training page of our ISSO website has many useful resources and guides to assist you with your application. The first step in the application process is to submit your request to ISSO through our online SciStart system. You can find SciStart in the top right-hand section of our ISSO homepage. After logging in, you can find the optional practical training request in the F1 Student Services menu. After we process your OPT request, you will receive an approval email notifying you about how to collect your updated I-20. This email will also contain a list of required application materials, a reminder of your OPT timeline and deadlines, information on how to have ISSO review your complete application, as well as information on how to submit your final application to uscis. As discussed in the previous section, your application can be received by uscis no more than 90 days before your program completion date and no later than 60 days after your program completion date. One other deadline to keep in mind is that you must submit your final application to uscis within 30 days after ISSO processes your request and issues your updated OPT recommendation I-20. Be sure that you do not submit your application to uscis before your optional practical training request is processed in SciStart. We will provide this filing deadline on your OPT checklist that comes with your new I-20. If you are not able to submit your application by the deadline listed on the checklist, please contact ISSO so that we can reissue your OPT recommendation I-20. Because of the uncertainty of uscis processing times, ISSO recommends submitting your application as early as possible. After an ISSO advisor reviews your complete application through the OPT application review in SciStart, then you are ready to submit your final application to uscis. You are strongly encouraged to file your OPT application online. Using the online application has been faster, cheaper, and more convenient for students, as you avoid the extra costs and potential delays of physically mailing your documents. A step-by-step guide for completing the online application is available on our ISSO OPT webpage. If you instead choose to submit your OPT application by mail, then we would advise that you schedule an appointment with your ISSO International Student Advisor to have your physical documents reviewed. After submitting your application, uscis will send you an official receipt notice within 2 to 4 weeks. You may also receive a text or email confirmation of your submission earlier than receiving the official receipt notice. Once you receive your receipt notice, please check the name and date of birth listed. If there are any errors, please contact ISSO. Processing starts from the received date listed on the receipt notice. If you did not use ISSO as your mailing address, then please provide a copy of the receipt notice through the immigration document upload form in SciStart. With your receipt number, you can check the status of your application on the USCIS website. If your OPT application is properly filed, then you will remain in an active F1 status while the application is pending. You are allowed to remain in the United States during this time. As a reminder, all on-campus employment must stop on or before your I-20 program end date, and you cannot begin new employment until you have received your EAD card and your OPT approved start date is reached. Possible issues may arise while your OPT application is pending. Please contact ISSO immediately if you will no longer complete your academic program as anticipated, or if you think you might fail a class required for graduation. If at all possible, please contact us before the end of the semester so that we can take necessary action to adjust your immigration record. Also, if you decide that you no longer want to apply for OPT, then please notify ISSO and we can help you withdraw or cancel your application. However, please be aware that once your application is received by USCIS, application fees will not be refunded.